wrote some of it. On the parents, I did want to mention that, I've had definitely a lot of new up-and-coming cosplayers come to me and say, hey, my parents just will not approve what I do. They don't want me to do it. How do your parents think about what you do? Because, I kind of do this for a living now, weirdly. And my parents also had to go through the phase of, are you sure you're doing the right thing with your life? And, and they just didn't understand. But I had to literally do a presentation to my parents where I'm like, this is a costume I made. Look at all the intricate details. And then I'm like, I go to conventions and I make accessories for other people. These are my income for the last 2 years. So I had to kind of convince them that way. Not to say all of you have to do that, but I think if your parents understood or your family understood that this is a much safer and much more creative way to pass your time, then, what do teens do these days, They play video games and they smoke and they get into trouble and they stay out all night. So just try to be like, Mom, I could be out drinking underage, but it's like, your kid is at home, your kid is, making a costume that is creative and might actually inspire them to pursue art as a career, or I know people who go into fashion design through cosplay or even costume design, and they go to Hollywood, and just really exciting things can happen. So I think that as parents we should definitely support our children when it comes to the creative arts. So I'm a big believer in that. All right. Gender and race in relation to cosplay. That's a topic I always like to touch on. We have 7 minutes. I am Chinese, and I have cosplayed all kinds of characters. They could be Asian or they could not be. And every time I wear an American comic book character, like Scarlet Witch, Catwoman, Black Cat, I will inadvertently get a comment that says, oh, that's Asian Catwoman, doesn't work for me. Or you're not accurate because you're Asian. I'm like, I can't change my race, What about like here we're doing Spice Girls and I'm dressed as Ginger, who's very British. But I was like, you know what, Ginger is fun. I like the Union Jack dress. I'm gonna do it with my friends. The girl in the middle, her name is T, so she goes by Bliku in cosplay. She is a really awesome cosplayer, and obviously she's African American, but she has done a ton of costumes that are, of Caucasian characters. She's done Riku, Psylocke, or Psylocke is Asian. She's done, just you name it. And I feel like the amount of flack she must be getting is pretty, astounding. She's talked to me about it, where people are just like, no, you're not the right skin tone. And so I want to reiterate that cosplay is for everybody, and it just shouldn't matter what skin tone we are, and for that matter, it shouldn't matter what size we are, or what freaking height we are. Obviously, if someone sees a character that fits their body type or fits their height, and they can, more accurately depict that character, that is a lot of fun. But to me, sometimes it's it's actually a challenge to go for a character who is not my body type, and then I have to do things to make myself that body type. And I'm doing a Jessica Rabbit myself later on this year, and nobody has that body, So I have to devise a system to, create the body shape, and, I'm not a redhead, and I'm not Caucasian, but it's like, I'm gonna do it, who cares? So, it is certainly, I think, it's about tolerance, and it's just about everybody accepting what you do. And again, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it. The thing about genders is there is a double standard between males cosplaying as female characters and females cosplaying as male characters, right? It's like girls can get away with so much more. But if a guy wants to dress as a female character, oh my goodness, then you better, And it is challenging, but I feel like it's, in that sense, it all depends on how important that character is to you. You know, if you really love her and you're a guy, then you may consider waxing. You may consider wearing. No, seriously, I know guys who will like wax and they will, you know, wear like a corset underneath to pull in their waist and things like that. And I mean, I think that's really commendable. And I think it's no different than me trying to get the silhouette of a character right. You know, even if she is female, it's like to cosplay really is about getting the silhouette and the shape of a character down. I know, we're running out of time. Yes, real quick.
I was just going to say, I know a white guy who waxed his entire body so he could be Shava from Resident Evil.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. I think that's...
Yeah, dedication.
It is dedication. It's like, how far are you willing to go to look like a character? Okay, the last topic is wait, where am I going? Sorry. There we go. Misconceptions of sexy cosplay. A lot of people are just like, oh, it's just fan service. And to an extent, it is fan service, I think. But I honestly think it has something to do with the fact that most female characters are designed by, like, you know, by men. And they're designed to be fantasies. That's really it. They're not real women. You know, these superheroes or these video game characters, Bayonetta, you know, she is not supposed to be a regular woman. She's a fantasy. And so for some of the female cosplayers to want to achieve, you know, accuracy, they have to sort of bear themselves out there. And so, like, for example, I'm cosplaying as Christy from Dead or Alive, and to someone who doesn't know Dead or Alive, the video game, they're just like, oh, she's a dominatrix.